Before laboratories, universities, political system, or scientific formulas, there was one simple human activity, questioning. Human beings look at the star and ask, what is the universe? They look at life and ask, who are we? They face suffering and ask, why does evil exist? They observe society and ask, what is justice? From this deep question emerged the oldest intellectual tradition in human civilization, philosophy. The word philosophy comes from the Greek word philo meaning love and sophia meaning wisdom. Philosophy literally means the love of wisdom. But philosophy is more than a subject. It is the foundation of rational thinking itself. That is why philosophy is often called the father of all subjects. In ancient time, philosophy included everything: science, mathematics, politics, ethics, language, religion, psychology, and even astronomy. Early thinkers did not separate knowledge into departments. A philosopher was someone who tried to understand reality as a whole. Over time, different branches of philosophical inquiries become independent disciplines. But even today, even every major subject still carries philosophical root. To understand philosophy is to understand the origin of human knowledge itself. Psychology studies the human mind and behavior. But before psychology became an experimental science, questions about the mind belong entirely to philosophy. Ancient philosophers like Plato and Aristotle explored memory, emotion, perception, dream, and consciousness. They asked questions that psychologists still investigate today. What is the self? Are emotions rational or irrational? How do we gain knowledge? Is human behavior determined by nature or free will? Later, philosophers like René Descartes argue that the mind and body are separate realities. These ideas deeply influence modern psychology and neuroscience. Meanwhile, thinkers such as John Locke claim that the human mind begins as a blank slate, shaped by experience. This becomes one of the foundations of learning theory and behavioral psychology. Even modern psychological theories continue to depend on philosophical questions about consciousness, identity, morality, and free will. Psychology may now use experiment and statistic, but its soul was born in philosophy. Political science examine government, power, law, and society. But the foundation of politics are first built by philosophers. Philosopher asks, what makes a government legitimate? What is justice? Should ruler have absolute power? Do humans possess natural right? Socrates questioned the moral responsibility of citizens and rulers. Plato imagined the ideal state in his work The Republic. Aristotle analyzed constitution and classified political system. Centuries later, philosophers transformed world politics. Thomas Hobbes argued for strong authority to prevent chaos. John Locke defended liberty and natural right. Jean-Jacques Rousseau emphasized popular sovereignty and social contrast. Modern democracy, constitutional law, human rights, and political freedom all emerge from philosophical debates. Political science studies government, but philosophy gave humanity the idea of justice itself. Mathematics appeared exact and objective, yet its roots are deeply philosophical. Ancient thinkers asked, what are numbers? Do mathematical truth exist independently of the human mind? Why does mathematics describe reality so perfectly? Pythagoras believed numbers form the essence of the universe. For him, mathematics was not just calculation, it was cosmic harmony. Plato viewed mathematical form as eternal and perfect realities beyond the physical world. Philosophy also gave mathematics its foundation through logic and reasoning. The principle of deduction, proof, and rational argument are developed within philosophical inquiry. Even today, philosophers of mathematics debate whether numbers are invented or discovered. Without philosophy, mathematics would lose its deeper meaning and logical foundation. Physics was once called natural philosophy. Ancient philosophers attempt to explain the universe using reason instead of myth. Thales searched for the fundamental substance of reality. Democritus proposed the idea of atoms centuries before modern science. The scientific revolution itself emerged from philosophical thinking. Galileo Galilei challenged authority through observation and rational inquiry. Isaac Newton described the laws governing motion and gravity. Albert Einstein transformed our understanding of space and time through conceptual reasoning such as experimental. Science depends upon philosophical assumption that nature follows laws, that reason can understand reality, that evidence matters more than superstition. Physics may explore matter and energy, but philosophy created the intellectual method that made science possible. Sociology studies human society, institution, and social behavior. Yet philosophical questions about society exist long before sociology became a formal discipline. Philosophers explain, why do societies exist? What creates inequality? How should humans live together? Karl Marx analyzed class struggle and social conflict. Auguste Comte developed positivism and helped establish sociology as a scientific field. Social theories about freedom, morality, power, and culture all emerge from philosophy. Even today, sociology continues to depend on philosophical discussion about ethics, justice, identity, and social reality. Anthropology studies human being, culture, evolution, and civilization. But philosophy first raised the most important anthropological question: what does it mean to be human? Philosophers explored human nature, morality, language, rituals, and cultural difference long before anthropology became a science. Immanuel Kant argued that understanding humanity was the ultimate goal of philosophy itself. Anthropology inherited philosophical curiosity about human existence, identity, and cultural meaning. The philosopher asks, what is man? The anthropologist searches for the answer through culture and history. Theology studies God, religion, and spiritual truth. For centuries, philosophy and theology are closely connected. Philosophers question, can God's existence be proven? What is the nature of the soul? Why does evil exist? Can faith and reason coexist? Thinkers such as Saint Augustine and Thomas Aquinas combined philosophy with religious belief. Philosophy provides theology with logic, argumentation, and critical analysis. Theology, in turn, influenced philosophical discussion about morality, existence, and meaning. Even today, debate about religion often rely on philosophical reasoning. Language is central to human thought, and philosophers understood this long before linguistics became a modern discipline. Philosopher asks, how does language represent reality? Can words truly capture truth? What is the relationship between language and thought? Ludwig Wittgenstein argued that many philosophical problems arise from misunderstanding of language itself. Modern linguistics was influenced by philosophical investigation into meaning, symbol, communication, and logic. Language is not merely a tool of communication, It shaped the structure of human thinking. Philosophy helped reveal this profound connection. Economic studies production, wealth, market, and human choice. Yet economics thought originally emerged from moral philosophy. Philosophers debate what is a good society, what creates prosperity, should wealth be equally distributed, what are the ethical limits of market. Adam Smith, often called the father of economics, was himself a moral philosopher before becoming an economist. Economic systems are not purely mathematical. They are built upon philosophical ideas about freedom, justice, labor, and human motivation. Capitalism, socialism, and economic ethics all rest on philosophical foundation. History records the event of the past, but philosophy asks how history should be understood. Philosophers explore, does history follow pattern? Can civilization progress morally? What lesson can humanity learn from the past? George William Friedrich Hegel views history as the development of human freedom and consciousness. Philosophy of history examines truth, interpretation, causation, and historical meaning. Historians collect facts, but philosophy helps humanity interpret those facts. Every subject begins with philosophical curiosity. Science emerged from questions about nature. Politics emerged from questions about justice. Psychology emerged from questions about the mind. Economics emerged from questions about ethics and society. Philosophy is not separate from other subjects, it lives inside them. Even in today's world of technology and specialization, philosophy remains essential because it teaches human beings how to think critically, question assumptions, seek truth, and understand existence. Without philosophy, knowledge becomes information without wisdom. That is why philosophy is called the father of all subjects. Because every field of knowledge was once a branch growing from the ancient tree of philosophical inquiry. If you are still watching, I hope you are finding this content useful. Please like and share this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thought in the comment. Your support motivates me to create even more content like this.